Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining me today.
Hey, thanks so much, Tim. Great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you too. It's fantastic to speak to you. And even though we're still on Zoom, uh, you know, um, trade shows are coming back, and hopefully everyone is looking forward to kind of seeing each other more in person like this.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Excited with G2E coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, thanks for your time. Thanks for joining me today. We're here to talk about kind of global payments, cashless payments, so much going on in the sector. To start off with, I thought it'd be great if you could give us an intro into kind of your personal background, but also talk a bit about global payments as a whole and as a company.
Oh, certainly. Happy to. And really, again, thanks so much for the opportunity to be here with you. Yeah, so I've spent really the last 25 years of my career really leading some business units for some really amazing companies like Ingenico, the global leader in payment devices, Merchant Link, the leader in connectivity for integrated systems, First Data, and Concord AFS, which was considered the Porsche of Wall Street by Investors Business Daily before its acquisition. Really trying to help developing an expertise, if you will, around delivering secure payment solutions and rich customer experiences for some of the leading firms in various markets really around the world. So Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy, McDonald's, Nordstrom, and so many others. So really very much focused in the payments world and how to engage customers at the time and place where they want to spend money and helping to deliver a really compelling experience. So in addition to those activities, and certainly in addition to what I'm doing here at Global Payments, I'm on the board of the American Gaming Association, as well as IDEA and FinTech Atlanta, all organizations really driven to promote business and the growth of our ecosystem around the world. And then I'm also on the executive committee for BWG Strategy, which is really more in and around kind of how investors take a look at these kinds of markets and where should they place their money and what have you. But back in 2017, I really accepted the challenge to join Global Payments to digitally transform the gaming industry and bring some of that expertise that I've had in so many other markets, bring them here. And it's really been fun and exciting to be in an industry and being able to work with the world's gaming entertainment leaders to create those really compelling consumer experiences to help maximize their spend across both physical as well as the digital properties of those organizations. So over the course of the last couple of years, Global's really done a good job of driving innovation into the space. We've done some really amazing things. I think two just quick examples are one would be our financial center, where we completely automate all of the financial transactions for the casino. So that really helps to eliminate lines, face-to-face transactions, and congested spaces, of which of course promotes social distancing, but more importantly, really customer satisfaction, in that we're moving all of the financial transactions out of the cage and eliminating those long lines and move them closer to the player's favorite game. So that's really some things that are going to help to drive the elimination of abandoned transactions, put more money on the floor, but more importantly, right, to drive some significant cost and revenue opportunities for the organization. We're really excited about where that one is launched and the kind of results that we're getting from it. But probably the biggest thing that's really hit the industry, and something that's very topical for most organizations today, is really the focus on mobile cashless funding to enable a single casino branded application to work across the entirety of the resort. So whether it's my favorite slot, my favorite table, or I want to go buy that bag for my wife at Louis Vuitton and dinner for my friends at Wolfgang Puck, the ability to do all of that from the palm of my hand. So effectively, I'm bringing my own trusted device to the table. I'm able to leverage really important bank-grade security to protect my personal information as well as my funds. And I'm able to engage all of those various activities in a very, very seamless way, coupled with the fact that the solution itself leverages existing systems and existing touch points within the casino, So I don't have the same kind of change management that an operator may have to go through with not only other systems, but they do the same things that they do today. So as we think about the challenges that organizations are having today, filling open positions, right? Nobody has the time to go through and train their staff on new ways of doing things. It's one of those things that just has to happen naturally. So we've done a pretty good job of really minimizing, if you will, the change management associated with all of that. And then, I think the last big part of it is because it's consistent with how consumers use other applications. It's got the same logical workflows and user interfaces that folks expect. It's driving really compelling results. And I think that's one of the things that really differentiates what Global Payments is doing in this space from all of the other solutions out there that are a lot more complex to implement, a lot more complex to maintain, and certainly aren't having near the consumer uptake just because it's not a user workflow that anybody would tolerate. So we're really excited about where we've gone with the entirety of the solution.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like you're keeping busy and definitely Global Payments as well. And we'll touch on some of the kind of products that you mentioned, and we'll talk about a bit about them later. Obviously, you talked about cashless payments there. An absolutely huge year and perhaps longer than a year since the pandemic. There's been a lot of change, a lot of digitalization in this area. How would you summarize 2021 as a year for the growth of cashless payments?
I think, well, certainly it's proven to be, I think, a significant year for growth. If my calculations are correct, at least the number of customers who have contracted, it roughly accounts for about 10% of all of the gaming devices in the US are under contract with some form of cashless. So it's certainly something that's growing very rapidly. And I think really it's the pandemic that ignited the need for safer mobile interactions. Nobody wants to, when you look at every consumer survey, the drive towards self-service, the drive toward mobile digital first kind of interactions is really leading the way. And across every consumer market around the world, mobile's growing at more than 30% a year. And in fact, last holiday season, better than half of all holiday purchases were actually made on a mobile device. So it's certainly something that's incredibly compelling. And I think operators across the country are really embracing it as the next new wave. And I think if I look at it too, if you go back 20 years to the implementation of Tito, that was Star Wars technology back in the day because at that point nobody had a mobile phone, email addresses weren't all that popular at the time. So to go from something of value from a token to this piece of paper just seemed really radical and really crazy. But yet today there are more people that have a smartphone than have running water around the world. People use their phones the majority of the time, and in fact, I guess as of last year, the mobile phone it became the main screen for the majority of the population. So it's a solution that it is certainly its time has come and that folks have really warmed up to. And I think that's one of the things that today's on-demand consumer is very much demanding those digital first kind of experiences, and we're seeing certainly that in the rise of use of all sorts of applications like Amazon and Uber, as well as certainly how iGaming and sports betting has grown around the country. So cashless to me is certainly a real game changer with numerous benefits for the operator and the consumer alike. And so while I think 2020, as we've seen from the gross gaming revenues that are reported around, has been the best year ever. Cashless is one of those customer conveniences that will determine whose chair the consumer is going to sit in once the music actually stopped. I really liken it to pay at the pump, where years ago, none of the petroleum guys ever wanted to implement pay at the pump because they make all of their profitability from folks coming inside. But what they quickly realized, if they didn't have pay at the pump, consumers weren't going to stop. And in fact, the majority of Americans anyway will drive to the next station if the pump doesn't accept their card. And I think the same thing's going to happen here with cashless, in that it's a solution that's here to stay. It meets the expectations of of the guest, and it's certainly going to help capture extraordinary market share for those early adopters who get in and provide that much more convenient way to play than their competitors. And we're seeing the results of that in the locations that we've actually launched here over the course of the last couple of years.
Yeah, game-changing sort of trends and technology, as you say, but it's a very competitive area as well, because a number of firms have sort of latched onto this kind of, as you say, this is going to be a long-term change. As far as global payments comes in, you got a big product in VIP mobility. Can you talk us through what this offers and kind of the benefits it brings to the market?
Absolutely, and as I mentioned before, I think there are tremendous benefits certainly to the operator as well as the consumer. But I guess if I really focus on it from the consumer perspective, because that's what we found to be the most important. Because without the consumer, what we want as a provider, what the operator wants, as their service provider, none of that stuff matters unless we've got consumer adoption. So the things that we really find important, and from all the research that we've done, as well as the experience that we've had rolling out mobile solutions around the world, customer adoption is king. So we really spent a lot of time focused on conversations with the customers, wondering what are some of the things that they really want out of the solution, and making sure that we deliver excellence on those various topics. So having a real, I would say it starts with the application and the process to get started. It's an application that you download from one of the app stores like you would any other application. It's a very fast and easy sign-up process. You can get started anonymously, so we're capturing 100% of the players as opposed to the 60 or 70% that wind up being carded in most organizations. But it's very intuitive to get started. I can start out with nothing more than a Tito ticket and scan that into my app, no different than I would deposit a check into my banking account. And I can also connect that to my other financial accounts so that from the comfort of my seat, I can move money into the casino, I can play my favorite game, and I can cash out and go on home without the safety and security issues that I would typically have of carrying around large sums of cash. When you get to the operator side of things, I think the benefits there are numerous. But I would say quickly and easily, the fact that it interoperates with existing systems and doesn't require change management is probably number one. So it has a very much of a cost advantage to get started. The operating and maintaining it is very simple and easy because the staff does the same things that they've always done. And probably the most significant thing for everybody, it's driving increased frequency, increased coin in, increased GGR. So the results and the ROI are absolutely compelling. So I would say those are probably the core differentiators that our solution's putting into the marketplace.
You touched on the security there. In terms of security and issue resolution, can you tell us a bit more about kind of how VIP mobility kind of addresses these areas?
Absolutely. And that's such a great question that I don't think enough people are really paying attention to. So Global Payments is the only processor with a direct investment in the gaming market. So we are the core of the commerce ecosystem around the world. And so this direct investment, right, does allow us to pay significant attention to things that consumers find very, very important. So our solution does leverage, as you would expect, the bank grade security that we deploy across every other card mechanism and every other financial mechanism around the world. So the ability to encrypt data and communicate to and from various elements with multi-factor authentication, very much the same way you communicate with all of your other banking activities, is really the hallmark of it. So unlike some of the other solutions that have really stripped away a lot of those financial protections in order to deploy something on a MagStripe loyalty card with a pin that's actually used and exposed in the clear, really open up some significant vulnerabilities that we feel that should really be paid attention to. So the system itself provides all of those series of enhanced security measures to really protect the operator and the consumer's information. Plus, I think from a consumer perspective, I've got the ability to effectively eliminate cash and some of the physical security issues that I may have of entering and leaving with large amounts of currency in my pocket.
So you've got VIP mobility, you've got the financial center, VIP financial center, which you talked about earlier. There's also VIP preferred. What's the connection with all of these products, and kind of how do they fit into the overall global payments picture?
Oh, great question. And thank you for this, because really part of what we've tried to build is an integrated ecosystem. So think about it as just interlocking Legos that all connect. So the systems themselves all work in concert with each other, and yet they can operate separately and independently as well. But VIP Preferred is really our membership program, whereby through a single consumer profile, sign up, you get connected to financial services, and then the ability to fund in a very seamless way. And when I say fund, I guess it's really the movement of cash in and cash out. So our financial centers fully automate all of the financial transactions that would have typically had to occur at the cage. Now they can occur at the kiosk. And so instead of having a single cage location, you can have multiple cage locations, if you will, let me use air quotes there, where those transactions are closer to the game to drive more money to the floor and higher customer satisfaction. But likewise, that same infrastructure also works with VIP mobility. So I can sign up at any one of our customers, whether it's online or at the brick and mortar locations, and I can use that same profile anywhere and everywhere. So it creates that frictionless process for me to actually be able to get started and get going. And that's part of one of the reasons why we're the dominant player in the iGaming space, and we're certainly one of the dominant players in the brick and mortar space, is just our ability to make this process seamless and easy for the guest, which then certainly makes it, a far better proposition for the operator.
So we've talked about security, customer experience, all important aspects of the kind of the payments, certainly payments and gaming. Customer support is another big issue, because invariably, things will go wrong. Customers, they want to kind of feel that, they need to be contacted. It's not just kind of every customer's a number kind of thing. What does global payments do to differentiate? Couldn't say the word, differentiate itself in terms of competition, in terms of customer support?
Yeah, well, this really boils back to that comment that I made earlier around being the only financial provider with a direct investment in the gaming space. We've taken steps to where all of our customer support organization, from technical to actual consumer customer service, is all gaming specific, all within the same organization. So when our customers have a problem, they're not calling a generic call center who's dealing with customers from Walmart, Family Dollar, Dillard's, and any other organization on the planet. They are all gaming customers. They are all gaming operators. So as a result, right, we understand some pretty critical things, which is, one, that guest is only on site for a very, very, very short period of time. And certainly they're only engaged in their online activities for a short period of time, right? They're here to place their bet. They want to get going. They want to get that done in a very, very timely manner. So when they call, first call resolution is very, very important. And we really strive to make sure every call is resolved on the first call. But more importantly, it's real humans answering the phone 24/7. So whether that consumer needs additional funds, they're having problem with their authorizations, there's a technical support issue, whatever it is, it's incumbent on us to try to get that call resolved right now, because we want to make sure that that guest has an absolutely incredible customer experience with our casino operator, coupled with the fact that we need to help them facilitate, right, their gaming experience. And so getting that done right now is incredibly important to us. And that's the kind of service mechanisms that we deliver here.
So something that I want to sort of ask off the back of what you just said, there's a sort of question I've only just really thought of. Obviously, Global Payments are a huge technology firm, huge emphasis on technology, but you've said there that the human element is still really important. Is that something that's, no matter how much technology advances, human element never really going to go away?
Oh, 100%. At the end of the day, right? Gaming is about the human element. As much as folks are still engaged with slot machines, they still want service, right? Whether it's their cocktail server that's bringing stuff, it's the dealer, it's the entirety of the experience. And we've all gone through the customer service nightmare where you dial the 1-800 number and you got 45 steps in some call tree only to get to some automated gizmo. It's garbage. So the ability to go through and deliver that incredible customer experience really does boil down to, you got to have the right people engaged who have the same alignment around what you would expect from service, right? If I'm a guest and I'm going to be on site for 3.5 hours and the start of my gaming experience is I need money, well, guess what? The longer it takes us to solve that problem, the less money they're going to play, the less happy they're going to be. So that's why we really strive to make sure that we're going to solve that problem right here, right now, and that's the end of it. And we're going to do whatever it takes to make that happen.
As some sort of recent company news in terms of partnerships, can you tell us a bit about Global Payments partnership with Engage Nation?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we've been very happy with the partnership there, because one of the things that we're striving to do different is not just put our widgets on the floor and think that, I mean, if going back to whatever the field of dreams, right? If you build it, they will come. I mean, the fact of the matter is, right, how many other devices and how many other things on the floor, right, all have flashing lights and, right, all provide engaging experiences. The challenge is, right, how do you make sure that customers know what to do? So we've joined forces with Engage Nation to really provide digital experiences for our casino customers, because we've got 3.5 million regular users that are already registered for the VIP Preferred program, plus a variety of others that are coming in and out of the casino every day. So we engage them digitally to help them understand that there are so many new convenience options available for them. So folks that may miss the signage, because let's face it, right, the signage in a casino is dimly lit, all the while everything else is bright and flashy. So they may miss a lot of those opportunities to understand there's a better way to play. There's a better way to get them the experience that they're looking for. And we do that through very exciting digital means. And frankly, the results have been extraordinary. We've seen huge increase in the lifts of volume and lifting of enrollment, and the results have been just absolutely phenomenal. So we couldn't be more excited about that relationship.
Well, thank you very much for all your answers so far. It's been a very, very insightful. My last question for you, Chris, a final topic on a congratulatory note. How do you reflect on being nominated for a Global Gaming Award at the GGA's Las Vegas?
Oh, it's truly honored to have been nominated. It's one, very, very thankful for our customers and our colleagues that certainly nominated us there. But I'm also very, very honored and humbled by it, just because it really helps to show all of the hard work and passion and dedication that the team here at Global Payments has really put into the industry. Truly, when it comes to things like mobility and financial center, and the other innovations that we've done in terms of how we've connected this ecosystem with land-based as well as digital, really shows, right, a lot of really smart people coming together to actually deliver things that are generating real results. Because unlike so many others that tend to come out with just really amazing PowerPoints, our focus has been on it's got to work, it's got to be delivered. Our PowerPoint is what's in the field. And we would encourage folks to go through and take a look at what we've done and see for yourself, right, if the things that we deliver, right, if they would work for you, work for your guests, as opposed to looking at a PowerPoint. Because I think everybody's got great salespeople, everybody's got the ability to make great PowerPoints and great marketing materials. So to get nominated for the award, I think truly shows, right, that folks are recognizing the fact that we do what we say we're going to do and we actually deliver. And I'm very grateful and humbled by the nomination.
Well, Chris, it's been a real pleasure to speak with you. Thanks very much for your time and for your answers.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time today.